retro gamers, welcome back to another Top 10 episode. Today, another Top 10 hidden gems for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Sit back, buckle up, and get ready to roll. Number 10. Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom. Princess Tomato is an adventure game developed by Hudson and released for the NES in North America in 1991. It is a unique title that stands out for its distinctive vegetable-themed settings and characters. The game takes place in the fictional world of the Salad Kingdom, where vegetables and fruits live together. The story revolves around the protagonist, Sir Cucumber, a brave knight who is tasked of rescuing the Princess Tomato from the evil Minister Pumpkin. The tyrant has overthrown the Salad Kingdom's royal family, and it's up to Sir Cucumber, along with his sidekick, Percy, the baby Simon, to save the day. Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom is an adventure game that uses a text-based interface with a point-and-click style mechanic. Players must navigate through various environments, solve puzzles, and interact with different characters to progress through the story. The game features a battle system called Finger Wars, which is essentially a rock, paper, scissors minigame used to resolve confrontations. Though not a commercial success, Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom had quickly become a cult classic amongst NES enthusiasts. Its quirky setting, charming characters, and unique gameplay have given it a lasting appeal among retro gamers. Despite its age, the game's humor and originality continue to resonate with players, making it a memorable title in the vast library of NES games to this day. Number 9. The Krypton Conquest. The Krypton Conquest is an action platformer game developed by Vic Takai for the NES. The game was released in North America in April 1991. The Krypton Conquest features a protagonist named Doropai, a witch with magical abilities who's on a mission to save the world from the evil robotic army known as the Krypton Empire. The game has often been compared to the popular Mega Man series due to its similar gameplay mechanics and graphical style. In the game, players control Doropai to utilize her various magical abilities and overcome obstacles, defeat enemies, and progress through different stages. The game consists of 5 main worlds, each with its unique theme and a boss at the end, a la Mega Man. Doropai can acquire different wands throughout the game, which grant her a new magical ability, such as creating a temporary platform, shooting projectiles, and using a shield, again a la Mega Man. While the Japanese version of the game, Magical Kids Doropai, featured a more elaborate storyline and cutscenes, the NA release removed most of these elements, making the story less prominent. This led to some criticism from players who felt like the North America version lacked the depth in comparison to the original Japanese release. Despite its similarities to the Mega Man series, the Krypton Conquest did not achieve the same level of commercial success or lasting impact. However, it has gained a cult following over the years and is considered a hidden gem on the platform. Number 8. Kickmaster. Kickmaster is a side-scrolling action-adventure game developed by KID, that's Kindle Imagine Develop, and published by Taito for the NES. The game was released exclusively in North America in January 1992, making it a very late release on the platform. Set in the medieval kingdom of Laurel, the game revolves around Thonalon, a young martial artist and master of high-flying kicks who embarks on a quest to rescue the kidnapped Princess Sylphie and restore peace to the land. The kingdom is under siege by an evil witch, Bezled, who has unleashed hordes of monsters and dark creatures. The gameplay of Kickmaster combines elements of platforming and role-playing games, with Thonalon having the ability to learn new kicks and magic spells as he gains experience points. Throughout his journey, Thonalon visits various locations, including forests, castles, and caves, battling enemies and bosses, and collecting power-ups and valuable magic scrolls. Despite its lack of success in terms of sales, Kickmaster has gained a massive following among retro gaming enthusiasts, with many praising its unique game-style mechanics, detailed pixel art, and memorable soundtracks. In recent years, the game has seen a resurgence in interest thanks to to online platforms and communities that celebrate classic gaming. Number 7. Shatterhand. Shatterhand is an action-adventure video game developed by Natsume and published by Jaleco for the NES. The game was released in North America in late 1991 with a rebranded theme and significant changes in the storyline and characters compared to the Japanese release, and it was renamed Shatterhand from Tokyo Shiryu Soulbrain. The player takes on the role of Steve Herman, a police officer who has his arms replaced with cybernetic prosthetics after a tragic accident. In the futuristic year of 2030, he is tasked with taking down the evil organization known as the Metal Command, which is led by a renegade military general intent on world domination. The game consists of a side-scrolling action gameplay in which players control Steve, who can punch enemies and obstacles to progress through the levels. As players collect power-ups, they can summon robot companions to help them in combat. One of the unique features in Shatterhand is its Alpha Beta Gamma system, which allows players to collect letters found in each level to customize their robot companion. There are 8 different combinations, and each provide a unique set of abilities for the robot. Despite a lack of sales, the game has become recognized as one of the definite hidden gems in the NES library. Its popularity has led to the game being re-released on various platforms and emulators for modern-day gamers to enjoy. Number 6. Vice Project Doom. Also known as Gun Deck in Japan, Vice Project Doom is an action video game developed by ACOM and published by Sammy Corporation for the NES. The game was released in Japan in 1991 and later in North America. Vice Project Doom is a hybrid game that combines elements of side-scrolling platformers, top-down driving, and first-person shooting segments. The game follows the story of a secret agent named Hart, a member of the Vice unit who is tasked with investigating a criminal organization called BEDA Corporation. The corporation is involved in illegal activities such as weapon development, drug manufacturing, and genetic engineering. As mentioned, Vice features 3 different distinct modes. Side-scrolling platformer, the majority of the game is played in this mode, with players controlling Hart as he battles enemies and navigates through levels using a variety of weapons and gadgets. Then there's top-down driving. In these segments, players control a vehicle, avoiding obstacles and enemies while shooting at enemies and collecting power-ups. And then first-person shooting. These segments occur at specific points in the game where players take the first-person perspective and shoot enemies using a crosshair. In summary, Vice Project Doom is a notable title in the NES library, remembered for its innovative blend of gameplay styles, engaging story, and solid presentation. While it might not be as well known as some of the platform's most iconic titles, it remains a beloved classic amongst gamers all around the world. Number 5. G.I. Joe The Atlantis Factor. G.I. Joe The Atlantis Factor is one of 2 G.I. Joe games for the NES. It was developed by KID and published by Capcom. The game is a sequel to the 1991 NES game G.I. Joe A Real American Hero and is based on the popular G.I. Joe toy line and its accompanying comic book and animated TV series. The Atlantis Factor follows the story of G.I. Joe team as they try to stop Cobra, a terrorist organization, from utilizing the lost city of Atlantis technology for their evil plans. Go Joe. The game introduced some notable improvements and changes from its predecessor. The Atlantis Factor features 6 playable characters: General Hawk, Duke, Roadblock, Snake Eyes, Wetsuit, and Storm Shadow. Each character had unique abilities and weapons, allowing players to choose their preferred character to fit their own playstyle. The game also had a non-linear progression system with branching paths and multiple routes to reach the final battle against Cobra. The Atlantis Factor received a mix of positive reviews at the time of its release. The game was praised for its improved graphics, character selection, and non-linear gameplay, which offered great replay value. However, it was criticized for its high difficulty level and lack of clear direction, which could frustrate players. But hey, we're fans here at Top 10 Retro Gaming. What about you guys? Number 4. G.I. Joe A Real American Hero. That's right, we're also fans of the original. A real American hero version of G.I. Joe was published and released for North America NES by Taxan. The game is based on the G.I. Joe storyline and cartoon series, similar to G.I. Joe Atlantis. In this game, players take control of G.I. Joe characters including Duke, Snake Eyes, Blizzard, Rock and Roll, and Captain Gridiron, each with their unique abilities and weapons. The objective is to complete a series of missions across different environments such as deserts, jungles, and Arctic landscapes, while battling the forces of the evil Cobra organization. The game features a mix of platforming and shooting elements requiring players to navigate through levels, avoid obstacles, and of course defeat enemies. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero was well received by critics and fans alike for its faithful adaptation of the source material and engaging gameplay. It was praised for its variety of characters and levels, as well as its graphic and sound design, which effectively captured the essence of the G.I. Joe franchise. While the Atlantis Factor expanded on the gameplay mechanics of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, it did not garner the same level of acclaim as the original, hence it ranking higher on our list today. What do you guys think? Number 3, Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke was developed and published by Capcom, originally released as a vertical scrolling shooter arcade game in 1985. Due to its popularity in arcades, it was adapted for the NES in 1988 in Japan and later in North America. The game is set in the Wild West and the player takes on the role of a bounty hunter named Billy Bob. The objective of the game is to navigate through 6 stages, each set in different locations, and defeat the boss at the end of each stage by collecting wanted posters. These wanted posters are required to face the game's main antagonist, Wingate, at the end of the 6th stage. The player has access to 3 weapons, a revolver, a shotgun, and a machine gun, which can be upgraded by collecting power-ups and purchasing items in stores throughout the game. Gunsmoke for the NES received several changes from the original arcade version. First, the game was given a story, making it more of an adventure than just a simple shooter. The player now had to navigate through each stage, collect bounties, and defeat the final boss, Wingate. Second, the control scheme was adjusted for the NES controller. In the arcade version, players used 3 buttons to shoot in different directions, but for the NES, the A and the B buttons were used for shooting left and right, while pressing both simultaneously allowed the player to shoot straight ahead. Lastly, the graphics and sound were updated to fit the NES hardware limitations. While the overall visual style remained similar to the arcade version, the character and the enemy sprites were slightly altered to fit the lower resolution of the NES. Gunsmoke for the NES received positive reviews for its engaging gameplay, challenging difficulty, and memorable Wild West setting. It's become a classic in the NES library, and the game has been re-released on various platforms, such as the Capcom Classics Collection, as well as digital distribution services like the Nintendo Virtual Console. Number 2, SCAT. SCAT, or Special Cybernetic Attack Team, also known as Action in New York and Europe and Final Mission in Japan, is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up video game developed by Natsume. It was released for Nintendo in 1991 in North America, 92 in Europe, and 1990 in Japan. The game is set in a futuristic world where players control a team of 2 cyborg soldiers, Arnold and Sigourney, who are part of the Special Cybernetic Attack Team, or SCAT. Their mission is to save Earth from the alien invasion led by an evil alien leader, Vile Malmort. The gameplay features elements of the shoot-'em-up genre, with players navigating through multiple stages while shooting various enemies and avoiding obstacles. The game allows for both single-player and 2-player co-op modes, with players able to select either Arnold or Sigourney as their characters. SCAT stands out from other shoot-'em-ups of its time due to its unique gameplay mechanics, such as the incorporation of a rotating satellite system. Players control 2 orbiting satellites that can be positioned around their character to shoot in different directions, allowing for strategic gameplay and different playstyles. The game received positive reviews for its graphics, gameplay, and level design. However, it has been noted for its high difficulty level, like most NES titles. Despite its relative obscurity compared to most more popular NES games, SCAT has gained a cult following over the years and now is considered a hidden gem among NES enthusiasts worldwide, including the team here at Top 10 Retro Gaming. Number 1. Bionic Commando. Bionic Commando, originally released as Hitler's Revival Top Secret in Japan, I wonder why they changed that name, is an action-adventure platformer game developed by Capcom. It was first released for the arcades in 1987 and then later adapted for the NES in 1988. The game was a sequel to the 1985 game Commando, and it was notable for its unique gameplay mechanics, which set it apart from other platformers of its era. In Bionic Commando, players control the protagonist, Lad Spencer, a commando equipped with a bionic arm that functions as a grappling hook. This innovative feature allows players to traverse the game's levels by swinging, climbing, and grappling onto platforms and objects instead of the traditional jumping mechanics seen in most platformers. The game's plot revolves around Lad Spencer's mission to rescue his ally, Super Joe, who has been captured by the enemy. To accomplish this, Lad must navigate through various stages, collecting power-ups and defeating enemies along the way. Additionally, the game features an overhead map screen where players can choose their path forward through different stages, adding a strategic element to the game. The NES version of Bionic Commando saw some changes from its arcade counterpart. The arcade version had a more linear progression, where the NES adaptation introduced a non-linear stage selection mechanic. The NES version also featured more stages and a deeper story, which included references to World War II and the Nazis, although these references were removed or altered for the game's Western release. Bionic Commando received critical acclaim for its innovative gameplay, challenging difficulty, and detailed graphics. It has since been regarded as a classic in the NES library and spawned several sequels and remakes, including the 1992 Game Boy title Bionic Commando Elite Forces and the 2009 3D reboot Bionic Commando for the PS3 and Xbox 360. The game's legacy has endured with its unique gameplay mechanics and memorable protagonists, influencing future platformers and action games. Bionic Commando remains a standout title in the history of the NES and a testament to Capcom's innovative approach to game design during the 8-bit era. So there you have it, guys. That's our list. What do you think? Let us know what games we left out, and maybe we'll make a part 3. Thank you for watching.